Did it go? Oh, good. Yay!
Are we live?
We're live.
Wow, I'm nervous.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Fun Day with Paul and Judy, and happy Palm Sunday.
Yes.
I sort of put the wrong kind of palm up when I was doing my little promo, but palm tree, palm frond.
When we were getting dressed, and of course, as you know, I don't dress myself very often. She says, well, just for Palm Sunday. I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah, what does that look like? I said, it's sort of Eastery, like the week before, and that's perfect. Like, if you do the white, you could wherever you go, or
Pretty
whatever
much.
day it is.
As always, tell us where you're watching from.
Yes, yes.
And if you can hear us.
For sure. We always wait for those first comments to come through, and that's kind of our confirmation that things are going well. But we hope you've had a good weekend so far. And wherever you are, we hope it's a good rest of your day.
Yeah, nice day here.
Yeah, hi, Glenna. Happy
Oh, there she
Palm
is.
Sunday. But speaking of Glenna,
Yes.
she was one of the contributors this week in our, I kind of renamed it yet again, the bumper stickers and bar signs. Because a lot of the things that are coming through aren't from a bar and aren't from the back of a car. So, if you guys are ready,
Are you going to rename it?
I already did.
Oh,
Well, I can always go back.
Okay.
Hi, Mary Jane. Looks like Deborah is here too. Hi, Deborah. Linda is coming through now too. We love knowing where you're watching. We were just talking with our special guest about that. Like, where have you been? Where have you moved? All these different places. Hi, Aaron. Hi, Sherry. Happy Sunday. So let us put up, if I can find them, a couple of and you'll see what I mean.
Okay.
Okay. And then, as you know, we have a very special guest today, so we don't want to keep you waiting to meet her. And it should be a really fun show. Lots to talk about. But as far as our bumper stickers and bar signs that have now been renamed, signs of all kinds. How do you like that? So this is credit to Glenna.
Oh.
Exercise in the morning before your brain figures out what you're doing.
Glenna, by the way, has been a major contributor to great questions on the question and answer series.
Yeah.
On my YouTube channel.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Connie is weighing in. Oh, that's good. Hi, Connie. All right, so let's show you another one. Now, this is still signs of all kinds, but I have to say, I don't remember who sent it to me. Education is important, but opening the pubs is importanter.
I like it. I like it.
I think that's a fun one. If that's one that you contributed, let me know, because you deserve a lot of credit. That's a great sign. And then one more we found. If your dog poops, pick it up, please. So the guy's picking up his dog. Thank you, Patty. I love that one too. I think that's just so cute. So keep sending in.
That's a big dog. That would be a lot of poop.
I know. That's a big dog to pick up. I just think that's so people with their good sense of humor.
Like the green cars only.
Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, that was so funny.
Oh yeah.
We won't revisit that. embarrassing situation.
Well, you thought it was funny for one reason, and then you found out there's another reason.
Exactly. Without further ado, should we introduce our guest?
She should save us from ourselves.
Well, we had a good time contacting her, seeing if she'd be interested in doing our show.
We forgot to cheers.
Let's do it with her.
Okay.
I told her she better be prepared.
Hi,
Connie.
Hi.
She is prepared.
Judy, cheers. Okay, I've got to tell you,
Connie.
don't kick me off of Sunday Fun Day because I've got sparkling water with a splash of orange juice. So that may not be.
I'm out of here.
He's leaving.
But I'm going to get
All
one.
right.
I'll tell you why. I would love to have a mimosa with y'all, but I'm going to get my vaccination, and they say like super hydrate. And so I didn't know if what Paul was having for Sunday Fun Day was super hydrating. I thought it might be dehydrated.
If that counted as hydration, yeah.
Well, I have a confession to make. Even when I take vitamins, I take them with my beer. So I'm still here.
Exactly.
And you're still hydrated.
And haven't changed a bit.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
That's sad, isn't it? Some people progress, some people grow, and then there's me.
Well, we're so happy that you were able to join us today. And so you're going for your second vaccine, you said, right?
Yeah.
Did you have any
I
complications?
did not. I didn't at all. So first one was good. They say second one is a little, maybe, a day or two you don't feel so great. So I'm just preparing for that, but I'm just excited to get it.
Yeah. Be relief, right?
Can I ask you what the facility is that you're going to? Because there are a lot of them now that are opening up to offer it.
Yes. So I am going to the FEMA facility or the FEMA site here in Tampa, which we're so lucky to have that because with that one, you don't even have to have an appointment. And it is obviously run by like the military. So it is like on point. Like you go in there
Yeah.
and it's literally like it works like clockwork. Like there's no, sitting around waiting. They don't even let you out of your car until like you could be in the queue line to get your shot. So, and I was asking, I
Really?
have horrible allergies, like a lot of allergies to
Oh,
and to things like that. So I was a little nervous about getting it because they said that, if you have severe allergies and you carry an EpiPen, you got to be careful. So I asked I say little guy. I mean, he seemed like he was young enough to be my son, all dressed in his cute little outfit. And I said, no, you're sure that you have people here who like, in case I fall out because I have allergies. He's like, oh, ma'am, we've
uh-oh.
we've got you taken care of with EMTs and we have medics. And he's like, the medics take care of people in the field with no, hospital around and that kind of thing. He goes, you're all set. So yeah, I feel good about the FEMA site. That's where I'm going.
Did you say, listen, Doogie Howser, don't call me ma'am?
I did not. I was just like, just keep an eye on me.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's a good thing. Well, you'll have to let me know how the second one goes because they sometimes say that there's a little bit of a different reaction.
Yeah, I spoke to somebody today, same thing. And
Yeah.
They said the second time, the second shot was a little bit
more than
but
the
nothing
first.
on the first. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have all kinds of things to talk about, and we have all kinds of things to show and tell everybody. And you get to do most of the talking.
Oh my goodness. No, I don't want to do most of it.
What a stretch. What a stretch.
She was funny before the show started, everybody. She said, so how long do you usually do these shows? Like 30 minutes, 45 minutes? I said, yeah, it's typically 30 minutes, except when we have a host as a guest. And then it tends to go a little longer because we all get to talking and to having so much fun, we lose track of time.
Judy and I were talking about this yesterday. We feel like that it's such a small group that have done what we've done for so long. It's honestly like we grew up together or like we were in, a school together or something, because literally if you don't know like another host that somebody's talking about, at least tons of people who know them. I feel like we all know each other and it's just like the best sister and brotherhood out there.
But it is like a reform school.
Yeah.
Some of them, yes.
So Connie, let's pull up some pictures and talk a little bit about how we know each other and all the people that we know together. Our paths have crossed with so many, speaking of that small world, wonderful people. But this very first shot that I want to show everybody is one of those that has to have a story behind it. Okay. So Connie, let me, I'll take us down and I'm going to put the picture right beside you.
Okay.
And you can describe what you girls were doing here. It's so fun.
Oh my gosh. So this was one of the big promos or commercials that HSN did for Host Pick Day. So the theme of it was like we were spies. And so everything was top secret. So we had to dress up like why we thought that spies were going to dress in, like high black heels and boots. I'm not sure. I mean, it'd be a little hard to like go in and out of places in those outfits, but we collectively thought that's what, a spy would be wearing. So we were dressed as spies. Everything was top secret because we were doing host pick. And so we had to keep everything under wraps. But we were like the spies who were going in to find out what was going to be featured in host pick. So it
The
was
spy who sold me.
it was a lot of fun. And on that same shoot, they ask us to dance. It's so funny. Anytime you do a commercial, I feel like they also ask you to dance. And that's where it gets really, you're like, please.
Yeah, kind of. I would sort of think to myself, okay, so what kind of dancing? Are we line dancing here? Are we square dancing? Are we hip hop dancing? Are we swing
Are we
dancing?
dancing to our resignation?
I think it was a mixture of all of those. Like, I don't think any of that group, I'm looking at that group, it was Colleen, Amy, Angie, and myself. I don't think any of us were like qualified to be seriously dancing. So that part did not make the cut when they put it on the air.
Surprise, surprise.
So it was the Elaine from Seinfeld dance.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
So I love this one, Connie, because obviously Paul worked with Lynn on the morning show on HSN for years. And she actually, when we got married, came over to the Don Cesar where we got married and popped in to say hi and congratulate us. And so this is a very special picture to you, I'm sure.
Oh my gosh. Anybody that knows Lynn loves Lynn. I mean, seriously, I don't think you could meet her and not instantly feel like she's your best friend. She's just like a ball of sunshine. She's so much fun. Y'all are going to get a kick out of this. When I first started working at HSN, Lynn had already been there probably, gosh, I don't know, Paul. I started there in 98. So would Lynn have been there like 10 years before that? Or
about that, yeah.
So, but people thought we were sisters, like legitimately thought we were sisters. I guess just the
yeah, I can see why.
And so I was like, that's a huge compliment. I'll take it. But Lynn's from Philly and I'm from Tennessee. So Lynn would be like, oh yeah, and she'd say this on the air. She's like, that's my country sister. She's the country, but it was just so funny because people legitimately thought that we were sisters. Sometimes people thought we were the same person. Like we'd get an on-air caller and they would say, hi, Lynn, I just love and I'm like, I'm Connie. And she would do the same thing. Oh, this is the best. So I had a baby and I wasn't back at work yet. And Lynn was on the air with Mark Gill. And for those of you at home, maybe who haven't seen Mark, most people know him because he's all over the place, doing great infomercials, and he's on HSN and he always does cooking things. And so he was in the kitchen with Lynn. He looks at Lynn. He goes, God, you look good. Didn't you just have a baby? And Lynn is like, no.
Wrong sister.
Exactly. Wrong sister. So no,
I miscarried. Sorry.
No, I'm sure. And that's the thing, when you see somebody only once every so often, but the look is so similar and they're nervous probably about, going on the air and getting themselves.
What you do different with your hair?
Yeah.
Well, you sure baby wait quickly.
Yeah. Right. I
like
know.
The week after,
so that's
and he was like, you look good. You just had a bit. And she was like, no.
Well, speaking of being on set, Connie, this is a fun one too. And it's pretty obvious as to what time of year this was done.
I hope.
Was this on set too?
That was on
this
set.
A promo you guys were doing?
Yeah. And at the time, HSN was partnered with Chasing Fireflies, which did a lot of Halloween costumes. So we all got to choose a Halloween costume for being on air. It was probably like the entire week of Halloween that we did that. All of the sets were all, dressed up for Halloween. It was amazing though, because everybody was dressed up, and I was a good witch and actually a fairy princess. I don't even know what. No, I guess I was a fairy princess. But it was so much fun because some people were scary, some people were silly, and they actually had a lot of things on set too that we didn't know were there. Like they'd drop spiders on you. So yeah.
Ooh.
Good time.
Yeah, wow. Well, we always used to have a lot of fun when it came to
We had some
Halloween, didn't
legendary
we?
Halloween
Yeah,
parties. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, I've
absolutely. Well,
heard
and
about those Halloween parties. I've heard another one of
well,
our
there,
Kim and Craig told me about y'all's Halloween parties.
Oh
oh
yeah.
yes, 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 yes.
Because we did that
Kim
up in
Parrish
Pennsylvania as well.
and Craig Hartman. Yeah. They we had it in Pennsylvania, and then when we had it down in Tampa, there were a bunch of people that had been invited to the party, and they just decided to rent a bus. So here comes this massive, like, coach bus coming through our neighborhood, and they stop in front of our house. It probably looked like, are they shooting a movie in there, or what's going on? Like, they probably expected band members
Oh
to
yeah,
come out.
we had the coffin, the candles, the scary music.
Oh my God.
So
Smoke machine. Oh yeah.
if the kids that came for candy weren't crying by the time they got to the front
You
door,
were
I wasn't
disappointed.
doing my job.
Fun.
Our neighborhood was one of those really fancy, fancy, not expensive fancy pantsy, but they used to get involved in all the activities because there were a lot of kids in the neighborhood.
Right.
So whenever it was Easter, people decorated their homes. So they really, really got into Halloween in this neighborhood.
Yeah,
And
we just
they used to the people outside the neighborhood used to drive their kids to the neighborhood just to walk around the circle and go to every house across the street. They'd go around the first time inside, they'd go around the second time the outside. It was that big a deal.
Oh.
I bet you're going to tell the candy story.
Okay.
no, I wasn't going to tell the candy story. I was going to talk about the neighbor because we just moved in what June.
Of that year.
July, yeah.
Yeah, in June.
And
You're
so Halloween rolls around. I'm hanging body parts and stuff from the house. He comes over and says, "So I guess you heard about Halloween." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" "Oh, we get into it around here."
Just what I do.
I said, "No, this is just how we roll."
This is what we do. Oh, we even had wallpaper inside for the party that was all stone and blood dripping down the stone, and we wrapped it all around. The house did not look at all like it normally does. It was really
We
transformed.
had police tape, do not
For
cross.
next Halloween, will you all do this again? Can we put it on our calendar? This needs to be revisited. So, what was your best?
So much fun, and yet, as you can imagine, so much work afterwards.
Yeah.
Please. What was the best
Yeah.
couples costume that y'all did?
That's a good question.
That we did ourselves.
Yeah.
Oh, the Matrix was pretty good.
Yeah, we did and that's the one we did for that Halloween party,
Is
I
it?
think, wasn't
Okay.
it? We also did Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, that's a good one.
And of course, around here, as you know, in Tampa with Gasparilla in January and all the boats on the water that stormed the Capitol or stormed the city for the key, everybody dresses up already in their pirate
Yes.
costumes
Yeah.
in January.
We
So we
actually-
got to use those
Yes.
costumes twice.
We've done
Halloween
we've
and
done
Gasparilla.
Danny and Sandy.
Yep.
Mm,
Yeah, we did from Greece. Those were good.
Yeah.
fun.
You remember Tony Bratton, Connie?
Absolutely.
Well, we both, I think, wore wigs of hers for our Danny and Sandy costumes when we were the Grease people. Yeah.
Okay, we need those
And I got
pictures
to
here
from her.
today.
I should have brought some of those on too. But speaking of that, and people that we know, name dropping. Okay, here we go, Connie. This is pretty funny. This is a good one. And I want to know what it was like to work with this beautiful lady.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, like very few times, and you all know this from doing this for so many years, like you aren't distracted by very much because things are happening on set all the time. Like
Right.
things are falling, lights are
All the time.
exploding, people are talking to you. So you're not
Yep.
distracted by anything. I was so distracted just looking at her because she, as beautiful as she is in pictures, and in magazines and on TV, she is that much prettier in person and as sweet as she is pretty. I mean, absolutely, you would have never known in a million years that she was like the biggest supermodel ever. She was so down to earth and for everybody at home, when we're starting to present products, like the producer may have an idea about how you should do it. The company representative of the product has an idea. There's a million people that are telling you like how you should do the presentation. And Christy turned to me and she goes, "I want to know what Connie thinks. I want to know what she thinks we should do for the presentation." And I go, well, I was thinking da 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 da. She goes, let's do that. Let's do what Connie thinks. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how cool is that?
Yeah, that is very cool. I can only imagine. And then, are you wearing one of her wigs? You don't need a wig, so maybe you weren't wearing them. But
She was
did they do well?
she wasn't wearing one yet, and I wasn't wearing one yet. We actually did it on
Oh,
air. Yeah,
oh, to show how easy it was to put them on.
exactly.
How,
Exactly. So
how
she's not wearing
interesting.
one there either. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's, oh, the stories that we could tell with all the people that we've worked with, and
Oh
many
my goodness.
times we
We
have
have, we
told
have
those
told them.
stories.
Well, it's funny because some are just like you say, very, very down to earth,
Yeah,
really real
easy.
people. Even, and I found almost the bigger the stars they were, the nicer they were. And then you had those that were
Mini
okay, a
stars.
little full of yourself.
Yeah, you're like, I'm sorry, what did you do again? Like
Right.
that was the one. Those were the ones who like had an entourage, and like they had to.
You're right.
Oh my gosh! Once, I was on with someone who we won't say, but I was on with somebody, and they wanted me to sit further towards the camera. They were going to sit further back from the camera, and our guy who was in charge of the sets, he's like, no, 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 and she was like, well, then I'm not doing it. I'm choosing where. I was like, oh my gosh, and that same lady also made her person like her. I don't even know her assistant feed her lunch, feed her cottage cheese. I'm like, whoa, yeah.
Where do we get one of those?
Yeah.
You don't have one of those people, Paul.
Wow.
No. I mean, she has someone to bring her the wine. That's me.
And grapes.
And grapes. Drop them in.
I
Wow.
want to know
That's an
what
interesting
was
one.
your funniest, you guys, both of you, what was your funniest, like, did you ever have a weird caller that was online while you were on TV?
Oh, yes.
I would hear.
Go ahead. A
Well,
lot of,
we didn't have the dump button, the delay in the early days of shopping. And so somebody got in and cursed at me. And I said, Dad, I told you never to call me while I'm on the air.
Oh my goodness.
right? And who was it? Wasn't it
Oh, no, that was a Howard Stern, was a different one. One of the Howard Stern clones called in.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of another story because you used that line on Harvey Korman.
Oh, Dad, don't you
Yes.
recognize it?
Yes.
Yeah, that was with a guest. Yeah, I had Tim Conway and Harvey Korman. Bless their souls, they're both gone now. But they had worked something out before because you meet them in the green room,
Right.
and that's all you
As
have.
you
And
know.
I was huge fans of them from back in the day.
Carol Burnett
And
show.
of course, Harvey Korman couldn't ever keep a straight face even working with
Tim, yeah. Dorf.
And so they were selling a thing called The Great Outdoors, which was a little video that they did. And we talked about it. And it was funny because Harvey Korman was very interested in the shopping channel business in the green room. He's like, how does this all work?
Uh-huh.
And, I'm looking at the numbers and things, and you're just sharp as a tack. We get on the air, and they surround me on the couch. This is when we were QVC. And Tim starts into the pitch, and Harvey's like this the whole time. And then, so Tim would see me looking over at Harvey, like, what's going on? He's like, oh, don't worry about him. I just got him out of the home. And then about halfway through, Harvey wakes up and looks at me and says, Tim, what is this man doing here? And that's when I said, Dad, don't you recognize me? And then he lost it. So.
Oh my gosh. That's the best part about it. I think you never know what's going to happen.
That's true.
That's true. That's what we
Not scripted, no teleprompter.
What we love about live TV.
Yeah.
Connie, here's another on-set one that's really fun.
Okay.
And he wasn't the one who wanted to stand behind you, was he?
No.
And he said his cottage cheese.
He was lovely. He was another one, like you said, the bigger they are, the nicer they are. He was absolutely lovely. So we were selling, he had rollers, he had hot tools, and so I was telling him that I could never get my bangs to do, and I still can't do what I want them to do. And he's like, oh, you should da 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 da. And I go, yeah, I don't think that I know a hairdresser that I could translate that to make them understand what I wanted. And he goes, well, would you like me to cut your hair? I'm like, are you kidding? Can we do it? I mean, right after the show. So I'm sitting there as he's doing my hair and I'm thinking, this man has had his hands in everybody. I mean, like Farrah Fawcett. I mean, you name it. He did their hair and he was just as nice as he could be. But the only problem was that haircut spoiled me forever having a good haircut. You know, like, you know, I'm like, I'm done. My hair will never be as good as when he did it. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
Hats from now on.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem is you get so used to
Oh,
somebody.
like
And
you had Nick.
I had a guy like that too, Connie, at QVC. And you know the name Nick Chavez.
Mm.
So he's been on QVC for over 20 years. And the same thing. When he would do my hair, it always looked incredible. And then when he would go back to California,
Oh wait, tell about the first time when you asked him
to do
about
my
the hair. Or was it around our wedding time or something? No, where we were going to California or something. You know, you remember what you said that he said?
No.
I was waiting for you to let me do something with your hair.
Oh, that's amazing.
I was just waiting for you to ask.
He was excited.
He didn't want to assume that, you know, but he should say, I'd like to help you with that hair of
Who
yours.
the hell is doing your hair?
Oh, no, I
he
love
never-
all of those. Like, that's another thing, you know, all of the people who, like, we would never meet, obviously, or I would never meet if we had not been on air with them. And like, they give you those tips. Like, I was telling Judy this yesterday. You all know Dimitri James with Skin. I love
Yes.
and I know, Paul, I know you guys are friends from being.
I had some jacket envy. He has a wild.
I told her about that story. And you know what, Connie, I am going to reach out because I do think he would be a wonderful guest.
Oh,
he's so shy though.
Yeah.
I don't know that
he'll wear a loud jacket.
Yeah, I don't know that you get to say anything between Paul and Dimitri. And then if he comes on, Paul has to wear one of the jackets, Dimitri has to wear one, and it's going to be a who wore it better.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good theme.
I could roll out my blue tux.
There you go.
And then we'd make them swap jackets. Because I bet he doesn't have a blue tux.
I think it'll be a progressive jacket show.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so every 10 minutes.
I was telling Connie about the time I think it was called Evine at the time, not Shop NBC. And Dimitri was on set and Paul went on and like made fun of his jacket. And then when Paul came out on set to do his jewelry show, he was wearing Dimitri's jacket. Just to be like, you know, it's not so bad after all. How do I look?
And then I said, I can't hear you. My jacket's too loud.
Oh, hysterical. He is hysterical.
Yeah, he's great.
He's just so fun. Okay, so I have another one for you. And this lady, I mean, everybody can talk about her talent. Wow. But let me pull this one up on the screen too for you and talk about your experience with her, Kristin Chenoweth.
Oh, it's hysterical. Another person, I was saying, people think, I guess, you know what? I've just got one of those faces where I look like so many different people because I was saying that they used to say that about Lynn Murphy, but they also said it about Kristin Chenoweth. And I remember I was in New York, probably, gosh, it's been some time ago, and somebody stopped me on the street and said that. So when she came to HSN, I told her, I said, everybody says that I look like you. She's like, well, we do. You know how she talks? She's like, well, we do. Like, we look just alike. And she was,
she
was adorable. I mean, adorable. And like a tiny, teeny, I mean, like she looks small on TV, but in person, she is like, I wasn't that size in elementary school. Like she was tiny. But just as sweet as she could be. And just, you know, she's from Oklahoma and she's just adorable. I mean, really, really sweet. She brought her own jewelry line to HSN. And, you know, there were a lot of people there that wanted to come and say hello to her because obviously if you are musical or theatrical at all, then you love her. And she was just, you know, as good as gold. Like she would have talked to people all night. You know, she was just lovely, really, really sweet.
Very nice. And she once did an country award show or country Christmas show with Trace Adkins. So the difference between Trace Adkins
and this big versus a big guy, you know.
Yes.
I loved her on Glee. Did you watch that show at all
I
when
did
Kristen Chenoweth was
not. I
on
didn't.
Glee?
And the funny
She
thing
was
was I
so
didn't
good.
know, any of her music or anything like that before I met her. Like I only knew her
Oh,
from like seeing her in little in different parts in movies and things. And I and I
She's singing on Broadway, right?
yes.
Yeah.
oh huge Broadway,
Yeah.
but I just personally have
Yeah.
never Aaron Berger was like, and for a lot of you know Aaron Berger, a little bit of our electronic, but
Yeah.
he was like, Connie, she's like the queen. And you don't know, so, but yeah, but she was super duper sweet.
Yeah, that's neat. So let's get personal here with this next picture.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, look at this
Oh,
little guy.
Oh.
He is the apple of your eye, and I'm
Oh, look
sure
at him.
stole your heart the moment he was
oh
born.
my gosh. And the crazy thing is it seems like yesterday. He's 13 now and he's in 7th grade and he's
Wow.
taller than me in 7th grade. He wears a man's 11 and a half shoe. Um
Uh-oh. He's gonna be
gonna be a
basketballer.
big boy. But it's just funny
Yeah.
because it startles me now when he, like if we're sitting in a room and everything's quiet and then he says something to me because his voice is changing. So now this little baby has this deep voice. So it's pretty
Yeah.
pretty crazy because Judy, in fact, I think you were at my baby shower. So I mean, it doesn't seem possible that it was 13 years ago.
Yeah. How about that? That's the
At the RV
Sun
park?
and Fun RV
Oh
park.
yeah, I didn't tell Connie about
Yeah,
that.
so
No.
this was awesome. So the good news, you got the job. Okay, great. You're gonna play the grandparents. What?
You're like, excuse me.
We
Yeah.
did.
Are you talking?
Yeah, you got the wrong people, right? You didn't really hire us for that. Yeah, so we were the grandparents, and it was really funny. And so then the family, the kids and grandkids show up, and they were just so much fun. They were from Gainesville. I think he was a professor or something.
No,
He was
he's
in real estate.
Yeah.
They had both gone to University of Florida, and they had to. You're so funny. I looked at him and I thought, you don't look that different than I do. How come you're not the grandparent? I think we just always perceive ourselves as being like kids.
That's but then again, I'm very fond of saying, "Hey kids, get off my damn lawn."
Maybe that's how we got the reputation.
It's the attitude.
I can assure you,
Honey,
y'all do not look like grandparents. I can promise you. And
We definitely don't look like responsible grandparents.
I can't believe your babies are that old. Now that really,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
so this has to have been
Steve
what
Young.
before you were on HSN?
No, that was with HSN. That was back in the days when
With the NFL.
yeah, when they were the official network of the NFL. So they would do all of the Super Bowls. And I actually did the Super Bowl in Atlanta. This was actually in Tampa. And this was after the game on the field at Raymond James. And so I got to grab, now you got to think about this. We were out there with all of the, like the ESPN and the, all of the different networks. And we had to literally grab the people, the players, the anybody that we wanted to interview and just kind of, grab them the same way that the other stations were. So, it was a little difficult, and they were all like, our producers were like, oh, we're not going to get the big people because, they're only going to want to do a couple interviews. So they won't talk to us because they'll talk to ESPN first and then they'll talk to, the other like CBS or whoever. I was like, oh, we're going to get him. We're going to get him. So I would go grab him and drag him over to where we were. And I had a chance to interview Steve Young. So it was super cool.
Yeah.
That is super cool. Was he one of those people who was one of the really nice guys when you talked to him?
Super nice guy. Yeah, really nice.
Did it make you want to go into sports and be a sports broadcaster?
Well, the funny thing was, before I ever started with a shopping network, I did sports reporting. So in college, we had coaching shows for our football team. So it would be the coach of the team, obviously, and the commentators that always did the games. but I would do feature reports for the show. And it's funny because even as like long as 5 years ago, people would be like, "Oh, I remember you from the Vol Network. I remember you from the Coach."
Oh, how about
So
that?
yeah, because people are dedicated fans up there.
Oh,
Now, was
yeah.
that the Steelers or was that the Giants Super Bowl that you did in Tampa? Remember?
No, it wasn't. It was not. It was. Wasn't it the Ravens and the? You know what?
The only ones I remember the Steelers versus Cardinals because we went to that one, and then the Giants played. Was it Buffalo?
No,
It
Paul,
might.
look
I
at
don't
that
remember.
picture, honey. I had bangs. That's some time ago. That would have been. That was before Dougie was born. So and that was before I was married. So that would have been like I'm gonna say maybe like 2002, 2001, maybe. Yeah,
That was before we moved.
yeah. It was a
Okay,
long
yeah.
ago. Yeah. And I do have bangs. I'm wearing
Fun.
a ponytail. I've even got on a blazer. Judy, do you remember when people used to wear blazers? Like,
Yes. You know, what's so funny that you mentioned that. We've decided to go back through, we're trying to declutter
yeah,
and it's taking forever. But we decided to go back through all the DVDs. We must have 350, 450 DVDs.
Yeah.
I mean, we love the movies and just love entertainment. But we had really enjoyed the show Lois and Clark when it was on with Terry Hatcher and Dean
yeah.
Cain. And we found those DVDs, so we started watching it again. And to your point, I know this is a long way around to get back to your point about blazers, but she was wearing or is wearing in them, the men's suits and the big shoulder pads. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, all my suits used to look like that. I remember those days and I love dressing up like that.
100%.
We thought we looked great. I loved
No,
it.
I can remember when I interviewed at HSN, and that would have been in 98. I wore
Yeah.
a navy pinstripe suit. Like it was a Ralph Lauren navy pinstripe suit, like in Florida,
Yeah.
a wool navy pinstripe
Yeah.
suit, a jacket, and pants, and like a little like blue, sort of like a little blue silk tank underneath it. I mean, that was when I started at HSN in 98. We still wore I mean, like you would wear blazers and full suits.
Sure, sure. No, absolutely, we did. And that was just even the look on air. And I have one. I actually have one of those old suits, shoulder pads and all. It just fits so well. It was a beautiful lavender color. Maybe I should wear it on Easter Sunday. I love that. I can't get rid of it. I cannot get rid. It's just sitting there, and every time I go to donate it, I'm like,
This is
I might wear that
this
again
is the story of our
someday.
lives. Judy always has stuff that she's going to
Oh.
donate, and then she tries it on and says,
I know. I'm always like, this still looks so good. Or I have a mannequin, and I'll tell you the mannequin story another time. But I actually have a mannequin, and it's exactly my size. So sometimes I'll go, if I'm going to put something on either social media or one of those sites where you can sell your things and you can swap and trade and stuff like that. So I put my clothes on the mannequin because I think, well, they'll see it on a body, but I don't want them to see it on me.
Yeah.
And I put it on the mannequin, I dress it all up, and it looks great. I'll put this pant with it, and I'll start taking pictures and get ready to upload it, and then go,
nah.
no, I don't want to get rid of those two things. They look really good together. It's like, oh, it should have been a stylist or something because I could have sold a lot of stuff just putting stuff together on mannequins.
It's true. It's so hard. It's so hard to get rid of things. I do that with jewelry too. Like I look in my jewelry box and I'm like, I haven't worn this forever, but you can't get
I
rid of it.
know. I know. I know. I feel the same way. Hey, you know what? Speaking of jewelry, nice time to do a little segue,
Nice.
Miss Thing. What are you up to now with your jewelry line?
Oh
Tell
my
us all
gosh.
about this and how this transpired.
So exciting because as you know, for 22 years at HSN. And before that, I was at Shop at Home. I have been talking about jewelry, telling the story of jewelry every day for like almost 30 years. And so when I left HSN, I just missed, talking about jewelry and telling people the story of jewelry and looking at gemstones because it's been such a part of my life. And I like all kinds of jewelry. There you see Southwestern, Native American handcrafted jewelry. but I wanted to come up with a line because I love gemstones, love, love, love them. But a lot of the gemstone pieces that are in solid gold are so expensive that we might buy one, or we might buy, we might get one for a birthday or for an anniversary. So you get a few pieces a year. So
Yeah.
I wanted to do something where you could have real gemstones, genuine gemstones, and the look of gold, and you could actually afford it. So that's what I created. It's called the Connie Craig Carroll Collection. So, well, the name, I didn't want to come up with anything like, I wanted it to just be that, because it really is about all that I've learned. And I've had the opportunity to work with so many wonderful people that really, of course, we all went to school at the Gemological Institute of America, but even learning from just so many wonderful people that I've worked with over the years about all aspects of jewelry. And so I launched this in February on HSN, and I'm back in May 25th to do. I actually have a smart deal coming up. So the earrings I'm wearing are part of the smart deal. Yeah,
Oh,
they
cool.
come in malachite.
Beautiful. Oh, we missed some of that. I think you'll pick back up.
It's so amazing because the response, I think that's my favorite part about it, is hearing what people think about it when they get it home. I had one gal who sent me a message, and she had bought the last rose quartz earring that I'd had on air. And she said that she was going through treatments for cancer. And she said, she isn't doing a lot with makeup and that kind of thing because she doesn't feel really well. But she said when she puts on those earrings, she feels pretty. And I'm like, okay, is there a better job in the world than knowing that you make people feel pretty or feel happy? And I think that's what jewelry does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's why we have enjoyed it and been in that business for so long. And to your point about never meeting people, if it weren't for the job that you had as a host and then all the guests that came through the studio, it's the same thing. I don't think we would have near the appreciation for jewelry, what goes into the design, what goes into the mining of the stones, what goes into the setting, all of the different features and facets, if you will, no pun intended.
Yeah.
But if we hadn't gone into the shopping channel business, because when you have to talk for 3 hours about one subject of jewelry, you want to know as much about it as you possibly can so that you can keep the show interesting. And you want to keep it interesting as much for you as you do to the audience who's watching.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What's your favorite
Yeah.
gemstone, Judy?
Well, it's hard to have a favorite, but I'll tell you, ever since Paul and I got married and we talked together about what I was going to wear, I decided to choose a sapphire because we had both been married before, and I wanted it to be a reflection of the love that we have for gemstones.
Mhm.
So I have to say that's the first thing that comes to mind for me is the sapphire. But in designing the Joya by Judy Kroll collection, I became so fascinated by a lot of the stones that you're working with, Connie, the opaque stones, because you could get bigger, chunky, fun pieces, and you could buy multiple sets of them that would work together well or play together in color. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it too. The spiny oysters and the malachite
Oh, yeah.
and even the, you know what I mean? Even turquoise that would go together, really mother of pearl, all the agates that we used to work
Oh,
with so well in Sterling. I love them. So I think it's really neat that you're able to bring that line to HSN.
thank you. Thank you. I would ask Paul, but now Paul, I mean, I know you can't have a favorite because you are Mr. Gemstone.
No, and that's funny because there was a host at Shop NBC who had asked me all the time on the air, if you could only sell one gemstone, what would it be? And my answer was always turquoise, because we've been to so many different mines, we know all the players, and but that's then somebody else would say, "What's your favorite gemstone?" Well, I don't say turquoise. I mean, I do love turquoise, but if I had to pick only one, it would be a black opal.
Oh,
Black opal is just one of the most extraordinary gems in the world.
absolutely. Absolutely. And one that probably most people will never even see.
No, and they're incredibly expensive and just beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and having the opportunity also to go to Australia and to the opal mines, and you talk about primitive
Yep.
and dirty and a lifestyle that's just, I mean, leave all the makeup and the hair products behind because you're not going to have an
gonna need 'em.
opportunity to use them in the mines.
Yeah.
So that was another way.
Back then, we didn't wear masks. We
appreciation for
wore
it.
netting over around your face,
Yeah,
over
exactly.
your hat
Oh.
because the flies. It's so dry there,
Okay.
Yeah.
and they're going to get moisture anywhere that they can, including your mouth and your nose.
Oh
and
my
eyes.
goodness. Wow.
Oh yeah. If I'd known it was going to go in that direction, I would have set up a picture to show you. But if you have one of Paul's books, the picture
It's
in the
in the book,
beginning
yeah.
of the Opal book is him changing a tire with that hat on, with all the netting wrapping around so that the flies wouldn't get in underneath the
And
netting.
that's what I said in the Opal book. If when you go down the Stewart Highway, which is the only paved road in all of the center of Australia, I said it's not a question of if you'll get a flat tire, it's how many you will.
Oh my goodness.
And sure enough, on that journey, Paul's out there changing a tire.
Good that you knew how to do it.
Connie,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
you got all the tools in the trunk or the boot of the car. You're set to go. You got to be prepared. Connie, this has been so much fun. I've run out of pictures and run out of things
Oh
to
my
ask
God.
you, but so much fun. You're such a doll. And I'm really, really glad that we reconnected. I can't tell you enough from the bottom of my heart. We need to stay in touch.
Absolutely. And thank you. I'm flattered that y'all asked me. And I feel the same way. I was saying that to a mutual friend of ours. I said, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see Paul and Judy like in person. So we absolutely have to stay in touch. And thank you.
Oh yeah.
It's been a blast. And it does not
I
feel like
loved
we've been
it.
talking for 30 minutes. Have we?
That's because we haven't.
Nope, it's been more like 45.
Oh my God. Guys, thank you again. And happy
Time flies.
Day. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
you too.
And you and your son, Dougie, have a wonderful
Yeah, that's
Easter
great.
next weekend. And good luck with that shot this afternoon. We'll be thinking about
Thank you. And I'll let you know.
Okay, please.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Connie. Oh, love her.
Too much fun.
Too much fun. Well, one of the things that I was almost going to bring up, and then I thought I don't want to hold her up because I do know that she has to go get her second COVID shot. But she had said, and I'm wondering if the friend was Julie Truster,
Oh,
because she and Connie are very good friends. And Connie was talking about doing my workout videos. And she said, you know, you make it look so easy. And I know that you just have a couple weights and you're in your own home. And I think to myself, if I do those workouts, I'm going to have those Judy Kroll arms. And Julie said, yeah, I've been watching Paul and Judy in the kitchen and I made their Swiss cheese chicken recipe. And she said, and I really don't cook. And I made it for a friend. And my friend said, wow, I didn't know you were a good cook. And I'm thinking to myself, it's fascinating to me, the breadth and the depth and the reach that you have when you're doing what you love and other people are saying, oh, wow, you know, look at what they're doing now. And yeah, I was kind of watching too and having a good time with that. So such a compliment. And I was just really kind of thrilled. I let her know that I was so, you know, appreciative of that.
Yeah.
So if Julie happened to be watching to support Connie in her little appearance today, she'd be a fun one to have on the air too. Thank you, Barbara. I'm glad you did. I knew that she would be a really, really good guest because she's just a sweetheart. And I think she said May 25th
yes,
is when
so,
she's going to do. Oh, and Laura's asking, yes, we will have a Sunday Fun Day on Easter next week. I can't think of anything that would get in our way of doing that, right?
Unless we have any issues like we did last week where we couldn't get on.
Oh, I know. Well,
normal
then we went directly to
on
Facebook.
Yeah.
And the only thing about that is then I can't put your fun comments and things up on the screen. Thanks, Glenna.
Thanks, Glenna. You know it's free day.
Yes. Oh, what? Thank you. I love when people do these natural segues that allow me to bring my things up from the staging area, from the green room.
Oh, that's right, because you were going to show this last.
I did something fun to show you. Yes, as Paul said, it's free day. So I wanted to show you kind of what we do on Brie Day and the things that we serve. So I did a little mini in the kitchen with Paul and Judy just to show you what goes with it. So with our Brie, we serve extra brown sugar after you bake it. We serve crushed walnuts on the side. Then we also do peanuts because Paul's not a walnut person. And we do gluten-free and regular crackers and chips.
Fuji apples.
We do our Fuji apples. We serve pretzels.
Gluten-free pretzels.
Gluten-free pretzels.
Mhm.
It is a smorgasbord of things that
That's
go,
pepperoni and salami.
which we love. And then there's the brie wheel, of course, sitting and waiting. We actually take the Lodge pan right to the table, and then we serve it with a very nice Merlot or Cabernet. So,
And
and
we
when all is
added
said and done,
Malbec to that.
yeah, when all is said and done, even though it's not real fancy, we even put out plastic because sometimes it gets kind of messy. But that's what the table looks like on our brie day. So I just thought it might be kind of fun to show you.
And you can participate in our brie day
Yeah,
from afar.
that's right. So you can always go back to the video and watch that little video again if you wanted to see all the different things. But I'll be interested to know what you guys serve.
Did we get rid of the
YouTube.
first one? We have now the more polished video, or the one that I dropped.
No, we haven't put it. I think we shot one, but I either never edited it or something, or we said, nah, we've been
That's
there,
still the
done
one
that.
that I dropped.
So the one that's on YouTube of the brie that we do, I didn't show the whole presentation of everything that goes with it on that video. We just did the brie. So so that was a video right now of just us actually having it last weekend. Oh, Glenda's making the gluten-free lasagna.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so you
I
found
want to
it.
see a picture because
She
that is
found the
delicious.
gluten-free noodles.
Yeah.
She said she had to go to 3 places to find the gluten-free noodles. Paul had to go to 2 because I told him I wanted to make it again, Glenna. And so
Ended up at Publix.
he found them.
Yeah, top shelf from where the pasta was.
There was another lovely lady who wrote in and she said, this video popped up on my feed and I'm not a great cook and I really don't even eat or cook gluten-free, but I really want to try this lasagna. It looks good. So I said, you can also make it with
regular noodles.
Yeah. You can make it with the regular noodles. But even though you would follow the directions on the regular noodle box, which would be boil the noodles first, remember in the video, we also talked about the fact that you would leave it uncovered if you have already cooked the noodles, but that you cover it if the noodles are raw, that are gluten-free?
They're also having non-gluten-free lasagna noodles that do the same thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Where you can just put them in, and then you cover it.
Because
So,
it almost fooled me into buying it in one that was not.
okay.
They do that both now.
Okay.
Ready to bake lasagna.
So you could actually make our gluten-free lasagna with regular noodles and do it the exact same way.
Yep.
Not even, but did they say boil ready or oven ready?
Oven ready.
Oven ready. Yeah. Okay. So that's something to keep in mind. But before we leave, I want to show and talk about real quick your video that you just uploaded yesterday.
Yes, I did, and it's the next to the last lesson of garnet. We've had a garnet mini series going on. This is one of the rarest, and probably only collectors have it. It's called Uvarovite garnet.
Uvarovite garnet. Okay, so let's take a little peek at what
This week's lesson is about Uvarovite garnet. It is the last of the 3 calcium members of the garnet family of gemstones. It was first discovered in 1832 by Germain Henri Hess. And if that name sounds a little bit familiar to you, turns out he was a Swiss-Russian chemist and doctor who formulated Hess's law, which was an early principle of thermochemistry. I didn't think so. I didn't know that either.
That's funny.
Principles of thermochemistry. Everybody loves the principles of thermochemistry.
Sorry, I forgot to mute our mics initially, so you probably heard a warble of 2 things going at once. Then I looked up at the screen. Oh, I gotta mute our mic so it doesn't do that. But yeah, no, that's kind of does the whole video go like that?
No. I like to do some stupid things sometimes. Everybody knows this guy. No, not really.
Yeah, no.
But he did discover the stone, and he named it after a guy whose last name was Uvarov.
Why not?
Why not? I didn't show you a picture of him. The picture of him, Uvarov, is in the thing. But actually, what's interesting about it, what you looked at that first green stone, it's a druzy. It's a form of druzy. People think, well, what is druzy? Druzy is just a smaller stone attaching itself to other stones, and that's what a druzy is. So.
Yeah, that's why I saw the druzy sitting out. He does his videos in our office area, and he'll often come to me and say, oh, do you have any of this? Do you have any of this? Do you have any of this? So I'll look through my jewelry box and grab some stuff. but the druzy was nearby.
What was hanging on the neck?
Yeah, it was behind. So anyway, so that's available on his YouTube channel right now. You can watch that. And how's it doing? Another garnet.
It's another garnet. And then next week, I promise, will be the last of the garnets. And I'm going to get to some more of your suggestions.
Sure it is.
Your suggestions like morganite. I've had suggestions for fluorite, requests to do lessons on that. So I'll be getting to some more of your requests. And if you have one, send it in.
Send them our way.
Yeah. Just like the recipe.
Thanks for hanging in with us. Yes, the recipes, the pictures. Oh, I want to see a picture, Glenna, of your gluten-free lasagna
Yes.
that you and LaDon make
We would like
today.
to see that.
And we're off to enjoy our brie day
Yes.
on this Palm Sunday. Thanks for joining us. Have a safe and happy rest of your day. We'll see you next weekend.
Bye.